Far away.
Coxie back in the winner's circle after another midfield performance and were able to hang on. You must be pretty pleased with that result.
Yeah, really pleased. I think opposition you play, they've been in really good form. And to build the way we have and to capitalise against a good team. Really proud of the way the boys did it.
+9 clearances at the end of the day, but I think it was 90% of clearances at one point there in the first half. How important was that in the way that you were able to get a bit of that ascendancy early? Freo fought back, but it was where you guys were able to get a little bit of momentum. Yeah,
definitely. And, to the Mids' credit, they prepared well against a really good clearance team. They're a high handball team out of clearance. We wanted to make sure that we could pressure that as much as possible if we couldn't win the first possession. And then also from that, Bolton probably got them back in, certainly through the second half, so ability to try and stem that. I thought early when we got field position, if we couldn't score, we just let it out of there too easy to allow Freo to rebound, 35-40% of the time from our entries inside 50, which is too high.
The job Jordan did on Sarong, especially top of those clearances, like how crucial is what he's able to do now?
He was unbelievable. I think that's how highly we rate Sarong. For Jordan to be able to go to him. He started the third quarter at half forward, but to keep him to 11 touches is a unbelievable effort. I think the footy club can't speak highly enough of what James does. He spends time looking at his opponent, coming up with a plan. He has the mental aptitude to be able to sustain and hold on. And he's a massive part of helping our team play well.
And he obviously had impact going the other way as well.
Yeah, he does. And I think that's the great thing about James is the balance that he does have between, okay, I know to restrict, but also I know to not get off my man, but I need to impact when I get the chance as well. And he's done that numerous times when he's played on an opponent to be able to try and have shots at goal or to impact not only by quelling someone's influence. He's been a great addition to our footy club.
Brody Grundy was important, especially early on, I guess in setting the tone of the stoppages and those 9 centre clearances to start the game. How'd you assess his game up against the ruck duo? Yeah,
it was always going to be a massive challenge. They're both different rucks. So the ability for him to be able to switch into when Luke's rucking to Sean's rucking, what their strengths are, how can I try and expose, and what do I need to do for my team at that particular time? His game sense has improved dramatically with understanding what the state of game says and what they need from him. So, he's been in really good form, and we need him to maintain it for a little bit longer.
You feel like he's back in that sort of all-Australian form that he showed, quite a few years ago now, but even if it's the best that he's been in since he's come over to Sydney?
Yeah, it is. And I think the last probably 7 or 8 weeks he's shown that everyone he's come up against, he's performed really well. So that's what we continually ask from him. We expect that with the calibre of player he is and how much time he spends on his game. So, he's been in really good form.
Just on some of those tagging roles, how great is it to have Braden Campbell, who's also now playing that sort of higher defensive role? I think he had Bailey Dow last week, he had Clark again today, that you can't almost let Jordan do what he does in the midfield if you're not also got someone like Campbell to do that a little bit further forward.
Oh, exactly right. And Clark from last week had 31 touches, 14 intercept possessions. That was a real key for their defensive mid to attack options. So, there's always discussions you have throughout a week. How do we try and minimise the strengths of the opposition? Who's best to do it? And from there, it's about who do we think can also play the role whilst keeping engaged with the forward line. I think it's really important. You don't just go off the grid and follow them everywhere. It's about trying to make sure that they can still connect as a forward, but also influenced by stopping the opposition. And if they're going to get the ball, as long as it can't be dangerous and run and carry.
And very clearly, you're the coach of this team, but Errol out there, when he's playing, he seems to be taking control. He's learned a few things from sitting on the bench earlier this season. How good is it to have someone so young, but clearly such an important leader of this team, really maybe show that composure that was missing when he wasn't in the team throughout the first half of the year?
Yeah, that's probably one of Errol's biggest strengths is the way he reads the game, but also how composed he is. He's always about trying to find what's happening in the game, what do we need to change, how do we maximise what we're doing well. So, and every time he comes to the bench, he asks those questions. So the good part about it is we've got confidence that our leaders, which we spend a lot of time with, can start to understand they make the call out there. My brief to them is if you make the wrong one and you all do it, well then we'll cover a lot of things up anyway. Just have your voice and have a chance to make a decision out there, and then if we need to change it, we can do that.
What's the situation with Paps, and did everybody else go okay?
Yeah, it looks he got subbed out with his hamstring, so we need to work out the extent of that, how bad that is, and the same with Amadi late in the game. So we'll sort of see throughout the next couple of days how that settles, get some scans, and the results will come from that.
What is it for Joel?
He's just a bit tight in the groin. So, yeah, hopefully everything's okay there.
It must leave you with a huge sense of frustration, though. You know, so many positives to take from the game, but again, that injury curse that's been hanging around all year has come back to bite you again.
Yeah, you just want your best players playing as often as possible, and for them to get a run at it. So the extent we'll find out how bad it is, but yeah, we want to make sure that we can get our players playing as well as they can for as long as they can.
Don't have much margin for error, obviously, but does a win like this allow you to think, well, if we can get everyone healthy and everyone fit, we can have a crack at it?
Oh, I think we've always thought if we can get our best team on the park and playing consistently together, allows us to play the way we want to play. And, I think those players are crucial. They've spent a fair bit of time out. The others have learnt from them having them out. And now hopefully we can try and get them to gel together as quickly as possible. But yeah, Craig, we're not in the position to be able to go, well, what's happening a month out? We just continually look at what's right in front of us. That's tomorrow morning. That's tomorrow morning at the minute.
Are you likely to get anyone back next week?
You're not sure. So we'll see how Dane goes. Obviously, Francis will be available from suspension. So there are a couple that played the week before. And then we'll look at our VFL program as well.
If Joel is out for a little bit, are you happy with? We saw Hayden feel like he had a really strong step forward today, and then Jack Bull in 2 games in a row, some really important marks and involvements in contest. Are you starting to see signs that those 2 guys in particular can work well together up forward?
Yeah, I think, and Hayden probably played his best game for the year, and that's not only the ability to kick 3 at crucial times as well, but I thought his aerial contests were really strong and predictable, and from there he gave a couple of set shots off as well, to bring a teammate into the game and it's in a better position. And from there, Jack isn't about winning and kicking a bag of goals. It's about just taking the moments when he can take them and present and be in the position to get into as many of those opportunities as possible and not get beaten. And he's living up to that, which is good.
And just on Matt Roberts starting as the sub,
Yeah.
after we've seen Ollie Florent and Jake Lloyd drop out of the side and shift around when they have played, such as Jake today, is there something that you're looking for from those ball users out the back half that you're not getting, or is there a reason why you're sort of shaking up the personnel down there?
I think on the weekend, I want consistency with our players, where they're to play as consistent as they can, for as long as they can. And also, you're in a position where they had 4 tools that generally played behind the ball, ahead of the ball for them. So we needed to talk about Joel, where Matt has been playing back and wing, and it was just the time that it matched up with. And, he was, Sam Wicks and Harry Cunningham and Callum Mills and Nick Blakey were in front of him. So that's the way we went this week. How we'll do it going forward, well, that'll depend on the matchups we need, because Fremantle had the tools, but also some very dangerous smalls as well.
And for Callum, it seemed like he took another huge step forward today, in getting back to his best.
Yeah, and he spent a lot of footy out. He hasn't played a lot in the last year and a half, so I think for him to build, that's what we need. And him behind the balls, he steadies the ship. He understands. He's ruthless in the way he plays the game. So that's why he's our captain, and we need him doing what he does.
Lloydie seems to be working well in that sort of half-forward role, getting a few goals as well. What's kind of sparked that shift? Is maybe someone who's kind of moved further up the ground as we've seen over the last couple of years?
Yeah, I think the thing with Jake is his ability to be really flexible, and because of his experience, but also his football nous, he's got a really high IQ, footy IQ. So he can, if you say, we need you to play here, we need you to do this role, this is how it's done, and he just goes and does it. So, yeah, he holds really good ground shape. That's what we need. And we need to make sure that, you know, we can't collapse too much and give easy exits out of our defensive 50, and he provides that shape.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Thanks, guys.